All right, I am here with Aaron Pico fighting Otto Rodriguez at Bellator 295 on April 22nd in Honolulu, Hawaii. First of all, Aaron, how are you feeling ahead of this one?
I feel good. I feel very calm, and that's what's making me excited for this fight. I feel calm and I'm healthy, and I can't wait.
I think the key word in there was healthy. I mean, the last one ended in a bit of tragedy with the shoulder. I think the upside is, from what we heard, it wasn't as bad as it looked. But how is everything with the shoulder? How long did it get to take to get to feeling normal?
Well, 2 weeks after the fight, I was in surgery, so it was pretty bad. What the doctor had told me, I have 8 brackets now in my shoulder, but it's stronger than it's ever felt. I've been saying it. I'm kind of jealous that my right shoulder doesn't have any brackets in there because the left feels much more stable. Um, but no, I'm good. I'm good that I'm happy in a way that it happened. Obviously, with being in the middle of a fight isn't the ideal situation, but it's something that I needed to address and it needs to be fixed. So it's all good, and looking forward to using it April 22nd. So.
Was that something that had been dogging you ahead of that fight, or did it just happen during the fight itself?
A couple of months before, my shoulder came out, but then it went right back in, and it was feeling good all through training camp. No signs of my shoulder popping out. Honestly, of course, my shoulder will get sore, but they say sometimes when your shoulder comes out, there's obviously a risk that it will happen again, and the timing couldn't have been any worse.
Definitely. And when you talk about that, was it difficult mentally to see a six fight win streak end that way? Because that's a fight that if the shoulder doesn't happen, you go on and win, or it's at least close. You don't know. Now you've got this kind of question mark with it.
Yeah, that's the past, and I'm looking on to the future. I don't count this as a loss. I know the organization doesn't, the boss doesn't, and nobody else, the fans don't. So, I came out healthy in a way. I know my shoulder was messed up, but I didn't have an orbital that was broke. I didn't have any, injuries that were, with the eye, or it could have been a lot worse, to be honest with you. So I assess the situation. I look at, okay, well, the first 30 seconds my shoulder came out, and I was able to calm my mind. I was able to minimize the risk and the damage and defend myself for a whole round, basically. And I take that as a big win for me. And obviously, the doctor did his job, and that didn't let me fight, which was maybe it was probably the smartest thing. But in my mind, the winning was more important than the shoulder itself. I believe that I could have still won, and some people think you're crazy, but I definitely think I could have still won. It is what it is. That's the past, and we'll fight again.
Well, like you said, it's the past, on to the future. That is Otto Rodriguez. He's fought in LFA. He's making his debut. What do you make of him as an opponent?
Strong opponent. He's older than me. He's got more experience. Very good grappler. But I feel that my cardio, my grappling, and my stand up is just stronger than his. I feel my gas tank, my cardio is going to be a big factor in this fight. I think he gets tired, and the one thing about me is I don't. So I'm very well aware of his strengths, and I've studied what he's going to do, or what we think he's going to do, and I'm very calm going into the fight, and I'm excited.
Were you surprised at all to get a debuting fighter, a guy who's just coming in for your return?
Well, I had four guys in Bellator either say no or somehow the fight didn't happen. So I said I'll fight anybody. So they brought this guy, but yeah, there's some guys in the top that don't want to fight. Say they're hurt, say they want a new contract, say they want, in order to fight me, they want more money, they want this, they want that. I don't know what the truth is, but four of them have, or 4 or 5 of them said no. So I need to fight.
Absolutely. when guys are saying no like that, or guys are saying need more money to fight Aaron, what does that tell you about where you are at this point in the promotion? Because in a way, that's saying, hey, they know me, they know what's coming.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to fight myself either. You know, I'm very scary to be honest with you. And if you look at my history of my fights and my knockout power, my grappling, but most of all, how I train every single day to be the best fighter in the world. And or when you fight me, best believe your cardio better be good, your sleep better be good, you getting your rest. Um, because I'm doing all the right things. So when I go into a fight, I'm 100% sure that I did everything I possibly could to prepare myself, and that's a scary thing. You know, not many fighters can go into a fight saying, "Man, did I do everything I possibly could to win this fight? Did I touch that line when I'm supposed to? You know, when I'm sprinting, did I go past the line?" Not many people can say that, but I can, and that's a scary thing for some people.
You mentioned earlier he's going to have the experience edge. That's something you're probably used to, but you are now kind of hitting your prime, which is scary to think because you've already been this successful and you're now hitting your quote unquote athletic prime. When you look back after starting in 2017, is there anything that you would have done differently at the start of your career?
You probably would just take it take it slower. My first fight was Madison Square Garden on Bellator pay-per-view. I mean, I had a lot of um, hype around me, but probably just take it slower. Not be afraid to speak up and say, hey, I don't feel comfortable with that. Maybe we kind of take a little bit of my lesser opponent or things like that. But I'm happy from I now looking back, I'm happy the way that everything has worked out because it's made me a tougher human being. It's made me more aware of, even the business side of it, more aware, um, saying no when I feel like it's not the right thing. But you only learn that by when things happen to you. And if everything was smooth sailing and everything was just good, you really wouldn't learn anything. So like they always say, through failures you learn, and that is very true. And not just in the cage, outside the business aspect of certain things that go on. And it's MMA is not just fighting in the cage. There's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes that you have to put your bulletproof vest on and stay sharp mentally.
Absolutely. Now, had that Kennedy fight gone a little differently, I think most people would have expected you to be fighting for a title at this point. Now we have a situation in Bellator, and this is a little out of your control, where the champion is coming off a win over Adam Borix. He is now going to go down to bantamweight. AJ McKee has moved up to lightweight, and you kind of feel almost like in a holding pattern. Are you at all concerned that with Pitbull going down, this division is going to get held up? Because when he was holding that lightweight title, he didn't defend it for 2.5 years, which is crazy when you say it out loud.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff is beyond my control, but I think with that being done, 2.5 years of him holding the division up, I think Bellator won't make that mistake again because 145 has too much talent, so many good fights to put on. Um, Either it's vacated, an interim title, or something happens. I don't believe that they're going to hold the division up for 2 years. There's no way I see that happening simply because there's too much talent. And I know Bellator and the boss, Scott and Mike and all them are going to do what's best for the organization. With that being said, I got to position myself for the best opportunity possible. If they call me and say you're fighting for, when I get through this guy, you're fighting for an interim. I'll do whatever I can to get that belt wrapped around my waist. And however it may be, I just have to make sure I'm healthy and prepared for the opportunity.
If they do go the interim route, and I know you don't want to look past, the fight later this month, but if they go that route, would it be the rematch with Kennedy that makes the most sense?
I think that makes the most sense for sure, without a doubt.
Well, looking forward, if all goes well at the end of this month, I think that is a fantastic fight. Couple more before I let you go. Um,
Yes, sir.
I know outside of fighting you've got a passion for horses, and I was curious if that's something that started in childhood, or I mean, I can see the horse behind you, the painting. Like, how did you get
Oh
into
yeah.
that side?
Yeah, it's always been a huge passion of mine. I've loved it since I've been a kid. I took riding lessons. My great grandfather was a horseman, um, and when I would go to his house, we'd always have a horse and things like that. And I just have always been into the cowboy lifestyle. I used to always wear cowboy boots and jeans as a kid. You know, funny story. When I was a young kid, I had to go to the dentist, get something done with my teeth. And my mom and dad said that I came out, I put my cowboy boots on, my cowboy hat on. I said I gotta get tough because I'm going to the dentist. So I've always been interested in that. And my parents took me as a young kid on the weekends to do lessons, and it's just been in my blood ever since. But I was so involved in wrestling, it's nearly impossible to have horses. You know, my parents don't know much about horses, but I always made a promise to myself is when I started making money, the first big purchase I was going to buy is a horse, and I did. And it's the best thing in the world. I love it.
Well, love to hear the dream working out. Last one, April 22nd, Bellator 295, Aaron Pico versus Otto Rodriguez. How do you see this one playing out?
I am going to win. I'm going to win this fight. But it's going to be exciting. Anytime I fight, something always big happens. So I think that's why the viewers should tune in April 22nd because whenever I fight, there's always fireworks. So,
Well, looking forward to those. Aaron, thank you very much for the time today. Best of luck in the fight.
Jay, all the best. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, man. Have a good one.
You as well. Bye bye.